hope I have.
Lighting's terrible in here.
Huh?
Lighting's terrible in here.
Well, I thought I was going to bring my. Man, I was just trying to get out of the house today. So, I don't know.
The gummy bears are good, aren't they?
You just brought some gummy bears, man. And I'm like, what are you eating?
I got sour ones too. You want them?
No. Dude?
You got sour ones?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I got them too.
All right, well, we'll eat that bag. I'll eat that bag. So, we up here at, go tell them where we're at. Tell them what you, because this is like, it's all, I'm not doing much.
This is where we are, if you know us very well. Who is this?
Let's bring Joey.
Joey's good luck.
Joey's still in retirement, though.
Joey's good luck. Joey's coming out of retirement because I'm going to need Joey. I'm needing Joey. Todd needs Joey.
I've needed Joey for a while to come freaking.
Todd's wife was talking about a new house last night. Todd needs Joey.
Well, you didn't help much.
Well,
okay.
Earl decided about a new house.
Let me tell you about this. So I'll let Hallman tell him because this is mainly about you. You don't know this, but this is like what you've been doing over like the last week or two.
Yeah.
And what's about to happen in the next week. But so Hallman's driving from Hartwell, and he's just came down to Rayburn. And he was going to stay at the camp, and that's where we're at the camp. But he stops by my house last night. He was like, "Hey man, is anyone at your house?" I'm like, "Yeah, just come on, like come to my house and hang out with us, hang out with the freaking Castle family," which was interesting. Like you got to hang around my kids, and Michael is.
Well, I was headed here to the cabin by myself, and I did kind of call and I was like, "So what are y'all doing tonight? In your house a little bit closer, like."
Oh yeah,
y'all got plans this evening? And you were like, "Nope, you want to come to the house?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
I was driving back from Dallas from a soccer tournament with Michaela. My wife was already there with Michael, and I was like, I would always love for you to come to my house and not come here. But I was like, man, like we weren't really ready, and so I sprung that on my wife, who was like, "Do what?"
Yeah, I'm sure.
She loves you, but she was like, the house, and I'm like, I know we've been gone, like I know there's, and we had clothes. We had been washing clothes. There was clothes everywhere. And then the sink, she had broke the handle on our shower. And so we're there, and like that night, I was like, Holman's a plumber, right? And she's like, I'm not making him do anything. I'm like, well, no, that's why I'm not even going to bring this up. But in the morning time, I was like, hey, can you come look at this so I can at least just give me an idea of what I really got to go do.
I was like, why didn't we look at this last night?
Dude, you drove 12 hours.
Your wife had done such a good job, though. She'd already been at Lowe's. Yeah. And I asked your boy, I said, what'd you do today? And he goes, we went to Lowe's and Walmart. I said, what'd you get at Lowe's? He goes, nothing. I said, what'd you get at Walmart? And he goes, candy. So apparently he meant for him only.
Yeah, he don't care what she got. But I guess, yeah, she went and got some stuff. And Hallman gets back there. He's like, hey, man, this ain't like easy.
It's not.
So
the whole shower valve the guts of the valve had to be changed out.
Yeah. So after fishing,
and his freaking wife had bought them, like not just kind of sort of. She bought the whole valve trim kit, everything, and she bought the guts to the exact valve they had. And I was like, we got everything right here. So we fixed it this morning.
But like I said, he's like, why didn't we look at this last night? I'm like, you just drove 12 hours, got to my house. Hey, by the way, why don't you work on some stuff in my house? No, I'm not like that. I just so I waited. He was literally walking out the door, and I'm like, hey, just come look at this. So I'll fix it, but I know you'll probably know way more than I did. And then you're like, I can't leave like this. I'm like, man, I know how it is. You got to go fishing. And he's like, dude, I've been fishing for like 2 weeks straight. I'm all right with not getting to Rayburn, because the tournament's not this week. I mean, we got some time, So that's what we did this morning. Then I had more tournaments today, and you came and fished for a little bit. Now I said, hey, man, I'm going to come to the camp with you. I wasn't planning on coming this week, but I'm glad. So we came, and I got here, and I hadn't looked at any of these comments, but
this is great. Hank Williams put, how much Baja land did we lose? So you know what Baja is?
Yeah, I know. Baja, Oklahoma.
Baja, Oklahoma. We lost it all, Bubba. We it took 4 years of winning straight to be able to take taxes in Oklahoma all the way down to Dallas, Texas. But that was Baja, Oklahoma. We lost it all last week. I mean, we lost every damn bit of it. Matter of fact, Texoma belongs all to Texas right now after 49-0. That's for fact. And then make it happen. Put Hallman, you need to burn all your Oklahoma stuff gear and come back to Tennessee. Bubba, I'm going to tell you something, make it happen. So my whole life, I grew up in East Tennessee, ball fan. I was in Tempe, Arizona. Like my wife, we were both going to school at the University of Oklahoma at the time. I said, pack your bags, girl. We were dating. We weren't married at the time. I said, we're going to Tempe for New Year's. She's like, what's in Tempe? And I'm like, I got us $99 tickets to Las Vegas. You could fly to Vegas for $99 back then. And then you could rent a car in Las Vegas for $25 for the whole week. A nice car. Because they know that you're going to take that car and you're going to drive it to your casino 2 miles down the road and never leave. Yeah. I got the $25 car and I drove from there across the Hoover Dam, Lake Mead, to Tempe, Arizona, and got us a Holiday Inn down there for 7 nights and watched Tennessee win national title. I did this.
You're pretty smart.
So then the following year, that was in 99. The year of 98, 99. The following year, 99, 2000, my wife, my girlfriend at the time, she's like, hey, we're getting on a plane and we're flying to Miami. And Oklahoma wins the national title. So we're like, hell, this is just going to be part of our lives. Y'all don't want to know how many bowl games we've been to for national titles for Oklahoma since then that we didn't win. But we've been to quite a few. 3 of them right after that. But, dude, I'll never have to burn all my Oklahoma stuff, but I never burned all my orange either. The funny thing is being a Vol fan and a Sooner fan, is they've never been really good at the same time. And that's sad because Oklahoma's been really good for a long time, which means Tennessee hadn't. But right now, Oklahoma is, dude, we're worried about them. I mean, and should be scared. But Tennessee's kicking butt. They are. Got Alabama next week, and they're undefeated, dude. Went down and laid the smackdown on LSU, but Alabama's going to be a different ball club than LSU. That's for sure.
It's funny too, because like y'all know me. If y'all know me,
I care about football.
I care less about college football. I mean, I went to SFA. I know this year they beat some team where maybe they were a college team, maybe they were like a high school team that had some like 5th-year high school students on it. You know, we beat them 98-0 or something, right? But then no one cared about SFA, right? And so my family didn't go to some big college, like my mom and dad, like they didn't go to like, you know, one of the A&Ms or UTs or whatever. And so I just didn't grow up in a household that cared about college football. And I don't care. I fish for a living. Dude, I don't have Saturdays to watch football. Like I'm fishing. But I spent 15 years of my life every Saturday fishing. So I never watched college football. So anyways, I laugh. I think it's fun. It's how I play golf. Like I don't get emotional playing golf. I go play golf and I have the best time of my life because I could care less. And I play with these guys that like love golf.
I hate golf.
And it doesn't look like they love golf.
I hate golf.
Dude, they go out there and hit a golf ball and just cuss and get mad and everything. And I'm just having drinks and freaking hitting the ball. And if it goes in the woods, I pick another ball down there and I hit it. And if it goes in the woods,
you know what happens when I go golfing? Every pond we go by, I wonder.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Every pond.
So I have a good time. So we're in between games and we go to a restaurant and like half the parents up there are UT fans or A&M fans, and I walk in and they're all watching the game, you know, and I'm like, I'm over there. And everyone's like, what are you doing, Ty? I'm like, I'm watching the Bassmaster Open. It's day 3 on Hartwell. And so like they're all over there watching UT get, you know, in OU. And I'm like, dang, Hallman's driving right now. And I know I talked to so I called you that morning because I was driving to Dallas. And I said, hey, what's up? Me and Hallman, I had a 3-hour drive. You had a 12-hour drive. Yeah. And we talked for like 20 minutes at 6 in the morning or like 7 in the morning. Yeah. And that was it because he was like, hey, man, Hartwell Open's about to be live. I kind of want to watch it.
Well, Panger was on. I was like, it was on without volume. And like Panger came on. I'm like, hey, dude, I need to get off.
Well, and we like, so I knew Lucas Murphy. He works for Strike King. Like I talk, like me and him have been dealing with each other for like the last 2 years now. So like me and him were pretty close. So Lucas, Panger, Brian New was there, and you know we're cool with New, and I hung out with Shane at the Post deal back at the Daytona 400 when we were all over there. So like I had some guys that I knew in the top 10. So I'm like, yeah, and I've been there before. I only watch live if I've ever been there before, and since I was there a couple years ago with y'all, I wanted to see what was going down too. So that was going on. And I'm like, well, I'm not even going to call Hallman later when the UT because he won't. This is the thing. You're good about calling me back and talking to me, but I'm telling you right now, you're the only person I will never call. Like I will call you for. You know, you got those friends that like, if I make this phone call, he's going to answer. I'm telling y'all right now, dude. If my house is burning down and there's people out there with guns to my head and OU's playing,
you should call.
And he knew that.
You should call me.
Hallman would be like, "Hey, look, man, OU's on, dude. He will not." I've told this story before, man. He did not answer a phone call. We were driving one time. We were driving to wherever we were going, and I had to call him like 3 times. He finally answers. I said, "What are you doing?" He was watching UT play someone. Didn't even matter because it was a rerun.
Yeah, it was on YouTube.
And he knew that UT had gotten beat.
He's talking about Texas.
Yeah, University of Texas had gotten beat. He already knew it. It was an old rerun game that he had watched, and he was watching it, and he wouldn't answer the phone because he was so excited to watch it.
It was Kansas beating Texas.
And I was like, dude, what? I was like, answer your phone, dude. We got like a 9-hour drive. I'm like trying to stay awake. Anyways.
All right, let's get off football. Let's
get
fishing.
All right. So OU was terrible. Okay, I don't care about all that.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah.
Get off.
Are y'all going to talk about any college football tonight? Yeah, we just did. All right.
Oklahoma sucks. Congrats to Texas. Anybody on here Texas fan? Congratulations, man.
Is Watson outside? I need to talk to Watson.
No, Watson's not in the window.
No. All right.
Although Watson, did you see what he did for his birthday?
No, so I didn't click on it, but something about
it was the greatest idea ever. He went and rented this gargantuan houseboat. Nice one.
Oh, okay, yeah.
On Table Rock. And then invited all his friends. Did you get an invite?
Nope.
Me either. He invited all of his friends.
Keep going. What time?
9:40? Yeah. All of his friends for his 50th birthday. And he spent the weekend on the lake, this big, giant, beautiful houseboat, having a party with all his friends. But he did not invite us.
Let's call him up. Hold on. This is what's fun about Watson. It's 9:40.
Oh, he'll answer.
He might not.
He'll answer if I call right after you.
Yeah. Was it Sunday?
Yep.
Well, but you have to, if you do it.
This is James. Thanks for calling.
No one cares, James. Call him up, and then I'll call him back. But let me, yeah. Yeah.
He may be sleeping off his video.
He might be. When was his 50th?
It was last weekend. He ain't answering.
He might not answer. It's 9:40. Sometimes he goes to bed early. He's old. He's 50?
Yeah.
Huh.
This is James.
That makes me feel better. He didn't answer yours. Don't leave a message because he might call back tonight. So anyways, this is how I want you to answer this one. Hold on. Tennessee, I don't care about that. Jealous punk. How are you? Okay, well, hold on. I want you to that's a pretty funny one. How is Panger to deal with at Hartwell?
Well, it's actually a really good story. So we got a VRBO house, right?
Yeah.
And everybody was kind of showing up at different times. It's me and Sukup and Panger and Upshaw. Same as it's been all year. And John is in the house, I'm in the house, and Andrew's there. But we haven't heard from Panger. And this was on Sunday night or Monday night? Sunday night. We go to dinner, and I'm like, hey, has anybody heard from Panger? Because, like, usually he'll call somebody at some point. And everybody's like, no, I hadn't heard from him. So we go to bed. We eat dinner. We go to bed. Next morning, I wake up, and I've got a text on my Instagram. So I guess it's not a text. I have a message on Instagram from Panger's girlfriend saying, Matt lost his phone in the lake yesterday. And he needs you to call him. He's staying at the Microtel up in Anderson. So I say something. I answer her back, and I said, we'll look for him on the lake today. And then Andrew comes out of his room. He's like, hey, man, I got a message from Matt's girlfriend. Matt dropped his phone in the lake. He said, I sent her the address to the house. He drops his phone in the lake at the end of the day. So he did show up.
This is in practice?
Yeah, Sunday in practice.
Okay.
So he gets there his first day. He spends all day on the water. And then right at the end of the day, He goes to pull his trolling motor up. He's got some weird story about it. Let him tell it. But he carries his phone in his hoodie up here. I know. It goes in the lake. Exactly. It goes in the lake. Well, here's the problem. He hasn't been to the house. The address is on the text messages that he's gotten.
Yeah, so
but he has no phone. So he has to just drive. And he's like, me and my sense of direction, which is none. He said, I just took off driving. And he said, I end up in some town and I see a hotel. And I thought, this is where I stayed for a college national championship one time. I'll just pull in here. So he pulls into a microtel, gets a hotel room. He's looking for some place to use the internet. He finally just uses his room. I actually got a missed phone call from Anderson, South Carolina. It was in red. And I called it back that night because I was like, I didn't answer. I didn't see it when it came in. But after dinner, I saw it and I was like, what is that? And I call them and they go, this is Microtel. And da-da-da-da. And I was like, I obviously got the wrong number. It hung up.
It was him?
It was him.
Oh.
But I mean, how would they have done it at the desk?
Yeah.
But so the next day we tracked him down and find him. And then he has a phenomenal practice. He's going to talk about it on BTL sometime this week. But he has a phenomenal practice. But, dude, night before he makes top 10, John Andrew had headed out to go home. I'd stayed for one more night because I was going to drive down here to see Todd. And I took him to eat Mexican. And we one of the Mexican restaurants that has margaritas by the pitcher.
Oh, yeah.
They're good. Like $20 pitchers, too.
Yeah, but worth it.
Worth it.
Yeah.
And so I had to drink most of the pitcher because I finished 101st. He made the top 10 and fish tomorrow. But anyway, point being, we had a good evening, got him fed, got a margarita in him, put him to bed, and then he got up and fished the next day. So he was pretty excited.
Yeah. I don't know how – I ain't bad about lately. I've never dropped my phone in the lake, but I don't know how many times I leave it on the front deck of my boat all the time. When I talk to y'all, I put it on the speaker and it lays on the front deck.
Yeah.
I can't believe I haven't taken off with it. But I mean, it's on the front deck of my boat.
I've done that too.
Constantly.
I do.
Like half the day, every day it is.
I have to put it underneath my grass so it doesn't overheat.
Yeah.
And then I forget about it. And then I'm driving down the lake and I'm
I've never forgotten.
My phone's up there. But it hasn't ever come out.
I've never forgotten. Is this live or I'm behind? No, it's live, dude. Oh yeah. So they had a sea lease. Did you notice that there was a lot of boats out there today?
Oh yeah, I talked to some of them.
Okay, I didn't realize there was a sea lease tournament on. Yeah, but it's not the big one. It's not but it's still enough.
It's a big one for the fall.
Yeah, it's a big one for the fall.
10-3, by the way. 10-3 was a big bass in the sea lease.
Yeah, but I mean,
it's a big one.
It's a big one. It should be. Yeah. You put that many people out there.
Bigger than anything caught at Hartwell.
Yeah. Oh man, bait design. Yeah, you can talk to me about a little bait design. Bill wants to know about a bait design. Yeah, you can talk to me about it in the off season.
Hold on now, what was that one?
Which I don't know. Hold on, I got there yet.
You had a good year, Hallman. Congrats. What do you plan to change in 2023 to better possibility?
Dude, it ain't over yet.
Yeah, we still got one left.
Y'all don't understand, man. Hallman's in sixth place.
Yeah.
In the Centrals.
Yeah.
A top 10, I think he's in.
I was doing the math on the way down here this morning. I think possibly a top 20, but a top 10 probably gets it done.
So like he ain't out by any means. So he's right there. Yeah, there you go. Kevin knows. What did you fish on Grand Hall? What's that?
Just got the win on Grand. Oh, that was DeForest. Go back up. What'd you get? Oh, DeForest got the win on Grand. Good job, DeForest. DeForest works at the bass tank.
What do they have down there?
He fishes a club circuit that he's been traveling all over the state. They've fished everywhere from Texoma, Eufaula, everywhere.
Oh, maybe that. Oh, Grand Hall. What did you fish on Grand Hall?
Oh,
I couldn't understand when he was.
I just got the win on Grand.
Yeah, but he said, "What did you fish on Grand Hall?" Hall, his last name. Because I was like, "What's Grand Hall?" Okay, got it. Wow, he found his freaking phone.
Wow.
You both fish in Rayburn.
Yes.
Yeah, we're actually going out in the boat tomorrow together. we've probably done this. Is this our second time ever in the boat? Scott Martin show.
Be our second time ever
Second time ever in the boat.
together.
And we've talked about that we're like, we can't believe that's just weird that we've only been in the boat twice together. It sucks that we have to like get up to read this. Ben's right about like where you're at in the overall too.
I know it. So
He's close in the overall. He's like his place is good.
I haven't done any videos yet, and I'm not going to go into a long story because I'll put a video out about it. But I did everything that I needed to do on day 2 to make a huge comeback. I had them hooked up. I mean, I had 15 to 17 pounds hooked up, and it wasn't on some top water where they jumped once or twice. I mean, I had fish on a jig and I had fish on a drop shot. Jumped 2 or 3 times, stay hooked up, and then just pulled loose. And it was, you'll see on my YouTube, I collapsed to the floor on the second one because it was what I needed. And it was what I went out there for. I did everything right, and it just didn't work out. And that's fishing. But,
yeah,
dude, it was hard.
Let's talk about this. So, well, I was going to start off, but there needs to be a little bit of backstory. It's not a backstory, just an understanding. So Hallman shows up at my house, right? 12 hours.
Unshaven for 2 weeks. I'm talking neck, beard.
So he's got
bad.
Look. Show your hand.
That's all bandaged up.
Yeah, you can't see it. Okay. His toe's all jacked up from hitting something. Refrigerator. You went from the Red River, not basically to Hartwell. Did y'all leave to go straight to Hartwell? No, you went home.
I went home for 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, and then guys, I don't know. Like he was sitting over here. So before we did all this, like I'd gotten here and we had something to eat. And me and Hallman hadn't really had like all year long, it hadn't just been me and Hallman to like hang out for a little bit. And he doesn't yell at me, guys. He was like telling me, he was like getting all loud with me. And I was sitting, and I'll be honest with you, I'm pretty relaxed right now, right? And you were like, man, I was emotionally whatever from these opens. And I looked at him like, hey, I yelled back at him, I'm like, hey, you act like I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I did this with you for a year, and it was somewhat fun, but not a lot of fun. I don't regret any of it. I'm not saying I would never do it again. But just where I'm at in my life with my job and my family and fish, and I can fish back home, and you're never going to make any money in the opens hardly. And and the elites aren't like top priority for me because I just, we all have different paths, right? So anyways, I'm not saying I wouldn't, I'm still trying to qualify. I don't know if I am next year. Probably, I don't know. I don't even care. It's not, I'll put it this way. I haven't even thought about it. But they don't understand, like, it's not even physical, but emotionally, like, he passed out on me last night. When I say passed out, like my wife's on the couch, I'm on the couch, he's on the couch. We're all kind of watching TV. Kids are in there, and like Hallman just in the middle of conversation falls asleep, and we just like turn the lights off on him and let him go to sleep.
I didn't realize that happened.
I know, because like, man, I know what driving 12 hours after fishing for 7 days is like. I get all that stuff, and I know that it's hard to explain to people because it's a year-long thing, and then you're trying all this. And I'm gonna get to my point is when you do all this, and I'm looking at it for a three tournament deal, right? I fished Ross Barnett, and I lost 2 big ones on a frog, which is almost unheard of for me, but whatever. So I still finished good. And then Red River, I did exactly what I told you I was going to do. Like I had a little game plan together, and I said I cannot lose a fish, and I lost 1 fish the whole event. I broke off. It's my fault. I shouldn't have I saw her come up and eat a swim jig. I hadn't done any videos on the Red River. Minimum 3-pounder, between 4. That fish right there puts me in the top 20. So I'd probably be sitting top 4 in the points going into my home leg. 1 fish. You're talking about 1 or 2 fish over 8 tournaments puts you right there.
Right.
And I don't think people understand it. When you're just fishing a tournament and you lose a fish, we all talk about it, right?
Yeah.
And you can kind of
you
get
know,
over
usually
it.
it's not my deal. Like, I mean, I lose fish and I'm like
I
fine with it.
know.
But you know, when you got your back against the wall and you've been fighting points all year long and you're where you need to be, and then you have a day where you're like, I have to make up ground today.
And you have to be perfect.
And you make decisions like put yourself in those positions and you're like, oh,
got him.
That's it. Dude, one of them fish I hit on live scope was 120 feet from the boat, 28 foot deep.
And
3 of them.
it.
First cast when I saw him, laid it right on our nose. As soon as I pick it up, it gets tight and it goes, boom, and I was like, keek, and it was just, And you know how them spotted bass pull, right? This thing starts climbing and climbing and climbing. Look at my color. I said, it's a big largemouth. He goes, how do you know? I said, she's climbing to the sky, son. She comes all the way out of the water.
Was it a spot?
Largemouth. Freaking climbed all the way to the top. You know, the spots, they just dig and dig and dig. Largemouth. Just like here at Rayburn. You know how they are when you hit them deep and they just straight to the sky. Jump twice, stays hooked up.
And then you're like, got her.
Got her.
After
Backed
that.
off my drag. It's like butter. It's just zip, zip, zip. I got her. She ain't jumping again. She's over 4. She's round trolling motor. She's down underneath the boat. It's fine. No big deal. Zip, zip, zip. Just pulls loose. And I'm like, I just got robbed. Like, what the heck?
I know. And it I just like you set out for at the beginning of the year for this and you try to put yourself in these positions to do good and you just, you know, I I get it. Like I get it in a sense
we all do, and we all lose fish, you know. It just sucks sometimes.
It just sucks. Like especially when like the Red River,
you're not getting bit. That's when they really suck. When you're having a hard time generating bites, and especially generating big bites.
Yeah.
And then you get one finally.
It was Red River.
This is it.
It was Red River for me.
Yeah.
Like I did all this stuff, and I told you, and I even made a video. I said, to do good at the Red River, I cannot
lose fish.
I have to be perfect,
right? And
I might have a chance.
Yeah.
And I thought I was just trying to make a top 10. I wouldn't have made a top 10 on the bites I had. I would have made a top 20, which would have put me top 5 in the points probably. And I was sitting here, but after I did it, I was going. When I did it, I go, I'm not going to get another bite like that for the rest of the event. And I mean, I mean, everything I did in that practice was to like figure out how to catch 5 bites a day. And that was going to be, I waited 5 on day 2 and 4 on day 1. And that would have been number 5. And it was my biggest one. Won some giant, well, 3 to 4 pounders, a big one. And I was going, I wasn't upset, but I'm 2 tournaments in, you're 8 tournaments in and right there. And
yeah,
man, it's just a tough,
some
I am. It's just, man, I feel you. And then it's tough, man. Is Hallman eating gummy bears? No, I'm eating gummy bears now.
We're both eating them. They're good.
All right, man. Did we miss a whole bunch?
Probably.
Oh my gosh, man. Okay, there it is. All right. Keep talking while I look at some stuff.
DeForest was talking about top 6. That's what he did at Graham. It's a state federation stuff.
Oh, okay. Where's Hallman at the points? Like I said, he's top. I think he's like 6th or 7th in the Centrals.
I think I'm tied for LeBrun and I are 5th and 6th, but we're tied.
Okay.
In the Centrals, and I think I'm like 9th or 8th.
You're top 10
and 9th in overall.
Yeah. Okay. Now the Centrals. No, we got Rayburn next. Matthew thought the Centrals were done. No, we got Rayburn in October 20th. So he came down here after Hartwell. And I said, man, why don't you just come down here, stay at the camp? I'll come down for like I'm actually if y'all know me, I don't practice much for any tournament. Like in the sense of not anymore on Rayburn. Like I'll practice 2 to 3 days max. But I haven't been on the lake a lot all summer. And that's a whole nother story about why I don't practice Rayburn. I'll get into. I made one last January and got some people didn't like what I had to say because I was talking about why I didn't fish a BFL. And I just said, man, I got to get away from Rayburn, and And all these Rayburn locals, they all took offense to what I had to say. And I was like, sorry, man. I get tired of fishing. Like it was January on Rayburn. It's nasty and cold and miserable. And I didn't want to fish a stupid BFL for $200 to lose money, even if I made a top 10. And so me and Brent went down to Choke.
Yeah.
And just freaking, like, we're driving around Choke and we see like 2 boats a day. And I'm like,
I get that.
What? Like, a lot of y'all might understand that y'all, y'all don't fish tournaments. If y'all fun fish, dude.
Choke Canyon's fun.
Yeah, but if y'all fun fish and that's all y'all do, dude, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Like I used to say that I didn't really like to fun fish. I enjoy tournaments, man. Dude, I don't want to say I envy y'all, but man, enjoy that. If y'all don't think tournaments are fun and y'all don't like to do them, don't fish them, because man, I'm telling you, like I don't miss. I like that fun fishing, and I wanted to get away from Rayburn because I don't like how Rayburn's such a tournament lake and the people and the drama and all. I don't like it, and I stay away from it all. I try my hardest to stay away from it. So like, I don't know how many times people ask me about stuff on Rayburn. I'm like, dude, I don't know, because I don't listen to any of the drama. I don't pay attention. I don't deal with it. And then Blake told me the other day, he was like, when we were at Red River, he was like, I know we hate the Red River, but he's like, I'm kind of glad I'm not on Rayburn, because he started listening to me about like why I don't like Rayburn sometimes, and with all the locals and the people and everything. And I said, dude, it's just one big drama. It's just one big.
Y'all do have some drama.
Golly.
I talked to McCall. I talked to all these guys there. They do have some drama.
They do. I know. Like, I'll stay away from it all on purpose. But I saw Philip.
Yeah.
Craig the other day.
Yeah.
And because I was in there, I was at Despino's getting my tires. Like, so someone hit.
Y'all even got like there's differences, and I hear about this all the way in Oklahoma, but like there's south end of the lake drama.
Oh yeah,
then
north
there's
end.
like north end of the lake drama.
Yeah.
It's like two
Yeah.
deals.
I got.
And then even your crappie fisherman, the guy mowing your yard,
Yeah.
you just talk about their drama.
Yeah, their drama.
I was like,
And
oh,
like,
God.
so like I was at Whitney the other day, and like someone, like I had a flat tire, and I was like, God dang! So I went out there and changed my flat tire, and my buddy Johnny Matthews stopped and helped me. I was at the boat ramp in my boat, whatever. Got it all fixed. Got back to the place we were staying, and I'm like, because I was like, man, why did my tire go flat? I couldn't figure out why. I was like, man, it looks like someone hit my tire, like hit it. And because there was a scrape on it. And I didn't realize someone freaking hit my fender well.
Yeah.
And so they must have freaking gashed my tire anyways. So I called up Randy Despino, who's in the deal. And Randy's like, Randy owns like all these tire shops all over freaking Texas, Louisiana. Freaking dude's the nicest guy in the world. He fished the FLW tour with us.
Yeah.
He's like, stop by my shop, man. We have those high profile Skeeter tires.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, we got them in stock. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah. So anyway, I didn't have to. They ended up fixing it anyways without me getting another tire. So I did all of that. You got me off on track talking about the Spino tires, man. But anyways, so like I was trying to figure out like the Rayburn deal about like how I just didn't want to come down here and practice. And I'm like, man, when you're coming down here, I'm like, I'm gonna practice for this event. So I've been down here. I've actually practiced a little bit because I don't like coming down here. Like tournaments aren't worth it anymore. Like there's so many people. Oh, that's what it was. Philip is in center, and Despino's in center as well. He's got a tire shop in like a nice tire shop I've ever been in. And I stopped by Philip and did, Philip, like we talked for like 2 hours. I was like, I'm being here like 10 minutes, Philip, and I got to go. 2 hours later, I was like, I got to go, man.
He's still telling you about a frog bite he got.
Well, what's funny is he hasn't really been fishing, and he was like, man, I
love that dude.
He said, I'm done. I don't know if he's fishing T-tournament. He said, I'm tired of I'm tired of it all. He said it's not fun anymore. And I was like,
he's a good dude.
These young guys don't get it. Like they haven't been around it long enough to where I'll be all right on Rayburn. I can handle it because I can like separate myself and I can go fish other lakes and I can get away from Rayburn. I just now know as I'm older, I have to do that. I have to get away from this to enjoy fishing.
I understand.
So, but now like we'll have a blast. So anyways, Forrest, how did Brock and TJ do?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
TJ Martin. He used to work at Bill's Marine.
He fishes all that stuff with him up in Oklahoma.
But in it, I gotta read the whole thing from that right there. But look who asked it, the question.
I'm looking. William Laws.
No.
Oh, Walleye Channel.
So I just find this funny. Would either of you try the Redfish Tour? Asking from the Walleye Channel. His name's the Walleye Channel, and we had already had a talk about the whole.
We've been sitting watching the walleye stuff tonight.
We've been So we talking about the walleye. If y'all want to know, I'm putting a video out tomorrow.
It's great. He made me watch.
I made him watch it because I was like,
good.
Every once in a while, I'll put out a video that makes me nervous.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll take one. Every once in a while, I'll put out a video that makes me nervous, or like I'll run it by Hallman. This happens about once every 6 months. I'm like, hey, listen to this. Is there an angle that I'm not seeing? Could I get a bunch of hate on this? Could like a sponsor get mad? I don't know. Like, right? Like, because I mean, y'all know me. I'm pretty passionate about some things, and I speak my mind, and I'm not afraid normally to speak my mind, despite like this fishing game. A lot of people don't want to, whatever. So I didn't ask Hallman about this. I already made it. It's already uploaded. And I was like, well, since you're here,
it's good.
Just listen to it. I didn't ask his opinion on like, should I do it?
He started talking about it, and I was like, dude, you got to see this Instagram. I had a message on Instagram, basically along the same lines he's talking about, and I had answered it the exact same way he answered it. It was funny. But anyway.
The Walleye Channel asked, do you ever think about fishing Redfish Tour? So I just find it funny that the Walleye Channel, Redfish Tour, bass fisherman. I love the question because 10 years probably you will probably see me and Hallman fishing the Redfish Tour, and I'll let Hallman explain why.
Be a Texan.
Because so go ahead, because I found this out 2 years ago when we went down with Billy, and fished with Billy, and Hallman told me his 10-year plan, which I did not know. Right. But go ahead and tell me tell them the 10-year plan.
So I know that I'm going to be burnt out on bass fishing.
But what do you want from bass fishing? Tell them so they know, just in case they don't know.
I want a couple of them Blue Elite Series trophies, and I want a shot at the Classic.
And then you're done.
And then I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, dude, seriously, when that goal happens, like, I swear to God, my jersey's going to come off on stage, and I'm going to drop it and leave it, and I'll never pick up another.
I believe you.
I swear to God.
I believe you. You'll never bass fish again.
No. Well, I may bass fish, but I won't be like. No.
But this is what you want to do is.
Yeah, so I want to go.
Me and you, we talked about maybe fishing a couple random
I absolutely
team tournaments.
Love the Texas coast, and I like the Louisiana coast too.
Yeah,
like a lot.
So
I like Florida coast. I like the coast, but I want to go down to South Texas.
But we pick and choose, like you said. Hey, man, we probably pick a circuit, a bass circuit. It might not even be a big one. Just might be like
redfish stuff.
No, but a bass deal too, like 4 or 5 tournaments.
Yeah,
just for fun, and then the redfish.
Yep.
Like he just wants to go fish the coast.
Yeah. It ain't have to be redfish tournaments, dude. Like it could be, let's go redfish. I want 2 boats at the house, like with one of those canals that they have dug out there. I want a little bay boat, like a 20-foot, about like our bass boats, but a bay boat where you can go catch flounder or trout, whatever. And I'd like a boat where we could go. Okay, today we're gonna go go out there.
How far?
I won't be able to go. I don't need to go marlin fishing.
Not like
Crete and them.
Not like Crete and
Scott. No.
And what's we call it? I'm thinking about Welch. Not Welch either.
No. I just want to be able to go out there and catch some of the groupers and that kind of stuff off the rigs. But I don't have to go out there marlin fishing.
I don't.
So that would be a thrill to me every day. Get up in the salt.
William asks, how many pounds for top 10 at Rayburn? All right.
That's a good question.
That's a great question. Me and Hallman talked a lot last night, and I told him there's very few people. I don't like to just answer questions very simple.
Would it take more than 32?
Well, I'm not even see. I gotta let it. Like, I think people want to hear this.
We haven't been on the water long enough to know.
Well, but we had a 3-hour long conversation about this.
Yeah.
So if I was going to talk about Rayburn and he was going to talk about Grand, we don't talk about 6 months ago. We talk about 5 years ago. and the progression of 5 years and everything we've seen in our life, and then how that applies. And so I was explaining Rayburn from what I've seen from the last couple years, and then leading up to this summer, and then what all happened, because there's a lot of things that's happened with grass and everything else like that. And I said, man, and then I watch weights, like tournament weights, right? Team tournaments. And I see who's done good and the weights, and I can pick apart weights really easy. And I can say, hey, look, man, this is what's going on. I have a feeling this is what it's going to be. Because rarely does Rayburn ever go bad, 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 good, 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 good. It stays
Lake Cherokee does. Never seen anything like
Yeah,
it, dude.
yeah.
Anything.
But Rayburn will go bad, 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 a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better.
Right.
It doesn't.
That's why Grand is.
It does it like when it's firing, it's firing.
Yeah.
Well, it's not firing right now. I don't believe we got into this big old thing about the turnover. Not me and you, but I don't believe in turnover. I believe it exists. I just don't believe that it affects these fish like everyone thinks it
Well,
does.
I was out there today and we talked about the watercolor, and you told me how much it changed. But dude, I do believe what I'm seeing out there. And believe me, it's like not normal, like what I would think Rayburn clarity. Yeah. It's definitely dingier. But I do think a lot of it's got that coffee tea tint to it that really looks like turnover color.
Right. But and when I told you about it the other day, I was like, when I was younger, and
I know, I felt the same way.
I was like, so there was a span in there with me and my buddy Brent. Then Brent's the guy, if y'all know, Brent's the guy I fished the deep water series with, right? And so the deep water series was on choke. That's Brent. So me and him basically, that's when I really, really, really started fishing Rayburn. Was with him. I fished a couple times with Jarrett for a couple years and stuff, but me and Brent were fishing everything for a couple years. We won like Angler of the Year, like 7 years in a row in the fall. And dude, it was in the fall. We caught 20 pounds like every tournament. We didn't think twice about it. We just went fishing, and we just caught them. And I'm sure the lake was turning over. We didn't know. I mean, we were just catching we did it every year. And so now all of a sudden it seems like every lake we go to when fishing's bad, everyone's like, oh, the lake's turning over. Like it's the excuse of why everyone sucks. I don't believe that. I don't believe that with Rayburn. I don't believe that the turnover is causing it to be bad. I think there's other things in play here. And I think I know there are. So I was explaining what those things are, and then how to overcome them and like what to look for. And I kind of gave you a little idea today of like, hey, watch this. And you even told me, you're like, dude, everything you told me was exactly what was going on.
It was.
So when I'll get to the point of like what the weights are. The weights last time, and there's a big deal last year, and when they had the open here, it took a pretty big bag to make the top 10. Like 2 weeks later during the Toyota, it took like 30 pounds to make the top 10. And it was one totally different. And a lot of the guys that caught him in the open did horrible in the Toyota. And we're fishing the open this year more like we did the Toyota last year. So I know that there's a bite going on right now that's pretty much dying, and another one starting. It's going to start. And so it's just like at Hartwell. However they caught him 3 years ago is not how it's never as good, right? Like once a tournament has a big showing, it's never won the same way. Mm-hmm. Close. Now it might have been won. Tristan might have won it the same way, but the overall top 10 was not the same. So I'm just telling you, I think Rayburn, the team tournament weights have been extremely low. And I don't care about first place. I don't care about second or third or fourth or fifth. I look at like below fifth place and like 20th place. And when those weights are 12 and 13 pounds, that is not good. And that's what I'm looking at. And so I just see the weights being pretty low. There's too many local tournaments going on right now, and they're not very good.
Ben Craven says, I just don't see how the opens could be any fun unless you're rich and single.
He's got a great point.
You're missing the cocaine part. If you add in cocaine with that, yes, it could be fun. But other than that, no.
That's just been. He's just
Bill
being
Willis,
funny.
any chance Bass might payouts better in 2023 opens?
No,
they're going to restructure the
No,
payout,
no,
but
I'm
I don't
telling you
think
no.
it's going to be under the definition of a better casino.
it won't be.
I agree.
No,
with
no,
that.
no. 100% it won't be.
The fields are going to go to 250, and they're going to restructure payout, but the payout will not be.
No, and here's why. Because I talked to Hank about it. And Hank told me he's like, don't look for anything special.
Right.
And I appreciated Hank telling me that. He didn't have to tell me anything more than like, don't think it's going to be awesome.
Answer this one.
Yeah.
I don't understand this one.
Yeah.
Well, I already lost it.
Dude, you're going to have to go way up, though, because I think when you touch it, I think that's how much we won. Or that's how much it passed us. Like, that's how many comments we're missing.
Well, then we need to speed up our question and answer.
I know, but.
Okay, right here. This one right here. Kevin Burnett. You understand what that means?
So, look, you guys answered the 2024 Sealy is having this big tournament on Rayburn. If I fish opens, can fish Sealy? Do the math.
You're saying Sealy pays a lot better?
No, I thought he was. If I fish the opens, can I think he says, can I fish the Sealy?
Sealy have like an off limits or something?
Sealy might have entry fee rule. Like, right. So there might be a rule in there where, like, if you fish anything over like $1,800, I'm guessing that might be what Kevin's asking, right? If the entry fee is too much, you're not allowed to fish this event. Or if you fish this many over this many, you're not allowed to fish the event. So I haven't looked. I don't fish the Sealy's, so I haven't looked at his rules to find out which one,
Will Bass have a BFL level tournament trail?
No.
I don't believe so either. I think that if they did that, that's a decade in the making. They tried it once. We had the Bass Weekend Series at one point, but that did not happen.
Tater's a hammer on Toledo. Look,
Tater, like my buddy Tater?
No, Tater Reynolds. I believe Tater Reynolds. We throw this word hammer around out there a lot, and I'm not going to dog Tater because Tater did something in the BFLs this year that was incredible. Tater's also only been on Rayburn for this might be going on his second year where he's kind of caught him.
Yeah.
I believe he's George Jean Jr.'s nephew. George Jean. George Jean's. I don't know George Jean that well. When I say that is I haven't got to hang out a lot with George Jean. If I see George Jean at a weigh-in, I rarely speak to anyone at weigh-ins. You know that, right? George Jean will be the guy I'll go talk to every time. Like
hammer. He's the definition.
George Jean is the guy I will go to. Like, he is old school and my kind of guy. And I think Tater is, and what Tater did, I don't know if you know this, he won 2 events on Rayburn this year. He made a top 10 in every single BFL event this year.
That's strong. 2
on Rayburn, I think 2 on Toledo, and 1 on Lake of the Pines.
That's strong.
So dude is killing it. He just won the Keith Combs tournament last week with 25, blew everyone away.
Well, he's a hammer.
He's a hammer for the last year or two. Will it hold up? Rayburn is a very, very good at giving guys a 2 to 3 year run, and then I always judge guys how good they are after about 10 years. Can they hold? Because it's very difficult to keep that consistency for 10 years. The dude is he's killing it right now.
How old is he? Is he real young?
Dude, he's young.
He's going to keep catching.
No, he should keep. Yeah, I said he should keep catching them.
Yeah.
I don't even know if he's fishing this event. I doubt it. But anyways, yeah, Tater, he's been crushing it. I think what the deal is, I think he's guiding on Toledo. Gets done guiding, and goes out and practices on Toledo, and then does the same on the Rayburn.
Her Jay Ellis retired. They're going to recycle that spot to the elite guys, or is another spot available to the open guys?
Elite.
So definitely elite. Opens will never be anything but what they've promised in the notes. So this year's 12. Next year will be 9. That's what a lot of guys miss in the whole EQ thing. What they're really phasing in mirrors there is they went from 12 spots to 9 spots, and that was a way to get it done.
So I heard
I was going to clarify this. So these guys don't know exactly who all because they haven't seen the list. Right now, out of the Elite Series guys, there's only 2 guys right now that want back in that aren't getting back in that I'm aware of. And I say they want back in. I don't know that Gary Klaus wants back in, but right now the 2 guys, the guy from Texas, Daryl Gleason, and Gary Klaus are the only 2 that are actually being forced to be cut out right now as is. Now, if as these guys retire and stuff, I don't know if Jay Ellis moves one of those up or not, but that's what I know right now.
So I heard a bit on live that someone was pulling for Brian New at Lake Hartwell.
For what?
Well, my assumption was he was pulling for Brian New. Brian New is going to win Angler of the Year hands down, right, in his division.
In the opens?
He has fished, like they said, he has fished 3 opens and has 25 point.
I don't think so.
Okay, maybe he's only fished 3. I don't know what they were talking about.
Yeah, and even if he did, it would still go down the open list this year the way that it's structured.
So maybe it was just him fishing and pulling it in, because I think if he had won and it goes to the Classic,
now
then that Classic spot will go down to the Elite
Series. That's what it was.
And it was an Elite guy, but I swore it was the other thing, whatever. But I knew that
it definitely would have done that. It definitely would have done it because he did fish all 3, but he's not.
Because Scott made the Classic last year because
somebody won an open.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think Keith Combs. Here's the funny thing, on Louisville, 2 years ago, Combs was first one out, but he was almost about to, like, he had a chance to win Louisville, which is funny. He would have made the Classic, but also if someone else that was an Elite had won it, he would have made the Classic as well. I just found that interesting. Do you want to answer that or no? Keep going. Well, hold on. Them boys that fish out of Jackson Hill is different.
Who fishes out of Jackson Hill? You?
No, I that could go a lot of different ways, Ben. I can't pinpoint exactly what he's saying because it could go a lot of different things.
Tater got 3 checks today.
Oh, in the Big Bass tournament? He had a 9-pounder. I saw he caught a 9-pounder.
That's strong.
Yeah.
Damn, is Tater fishing the open?
I don't know. I hope not. Yeah, I don't care if he does. I'm tired of the OH Wally. I'm tired of the OH Walleye memes. The OH Walleye memes. OH. I will say that if you're like me, I saw the first video, got scrolled across Facebook, and after the second one, and then it was funny. Like 5 days later, guys were like still like sharing memes. Like, have you seen this? And I'm like, yeah, dude. The 1,400 other times I've seen it. Yeah, like it like I said, I've seen it before. We the same thing happened in Texas, so it's not like this is the first thing I've, it's not. It's sad that it's not a big deal, but I'm like, yeah. I'm saying 26 pounds. Wait, 26 pounds. They're all time. 30 pounds for the top 10. I think the only difference between this and a Toyota is the Toyotas will have way better locals. Okay.
What is that state of California still trying to track Hallman down for earnings? I don't know if you've heard me. I don't even know if I've ever said that, but that's probably true. They're still trying to get taxes from me from 2007 and 2009.
I think it'll take 32 pounds. 32 pounds to make the cut.
So Texas lakes don't turn over. Why would they not turn over? They develop thermoclines. I would think they would turn over. The damn tailwaters and backwaters up creeks smell. Dude, I'm telling you, I think Texas lakes turn over.
So Whitney, on Whitney,
yeah,
when we went across the dam, the smell by the dam was so nasty.
Really?
And they're all saying it was turnover, man. Like you could smell it. And it was like
If they develop
sulfur,
a thermocline, they'll turn
it was
over.
like a sulfur bad smell. It was bad.
It's not early for turnover. I know Hartwell was turning over when we were there.
Will electronics be a big deal at Rayburn? Always are.
And they were actually talking about turnover in that walleye tournament where they had the lead weights put in the fish. That was a turnover going on up there. It must be going on nationwide. What do y'all do during the turnover? Todd and I were talking about that this morning. I like to go to the bank.
Yeah, but see, like
Todd doesn't. He's like, doesn't matter. He's going to fish wherever he gets bit.
because
and I'm like Todd too. Like I'm not putting a lot of thought process into it. It's not like I think it's an excuse for a lot of guys. That are like, I can't get a bite.
So when I was younger, I never paid attention to the turnover, and I caught I think I caught him during the turnover. Like I didn't. When I was younger, I didn't care about full moons. I didn't care about any of that. I just went fishing, and so I'm like, well, how come it's all the big deal now? I hear more of it. All these things that people try to put into play. And I'm going, we didn't have electronics. We didn't have none of that stuff. We just went and caught fish every day. I'm like, so what has changed from 20 years ago? Did the lakes not turn over 20 years ago? Like, why did we catch them every single weekend back then and not now? I don't put much stock into it.
Well, electronics have a big influence on the Rayburn tournament.
Yeah, they always will.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure he's talking about live scope.
Why does Todd look like a 50-year-old Johnny Sins? I don't know who Johnny Sins is.
I don't know who Johnny Sins is either.
Or either you fishing the Toyota next year.
Absolutely. I don't care which one he asked for. I'm fishing the Toyotas. I might be fishing all of them.
Like
not really.
Like everyone in the country?
No, but I'm fishing a lot of them, dude. Dude, they pick
I know.
Grand's on there, like the Ozarks is on there. Rayburn, Darnell. So hey, the Darnell one, that tournament I almost freaking won. That I was leading by like 6 or 7 pounds going the final day, and I freaking just whatever. It's like a week. It's like a week from that same time. So I can't wait to go to Darnell.
So he said the 2024 Sealy has a $1.3 million payout. Anything over 1,000 entries.
Like, is it a good deal? Listen, if you can handle all the BS that goes with the Sealy tournament, and what I mean by that, Bob Sealy puts on a freaking tournament like no other person in the country. Like Bob Sealy's awesome. He really is. Dude, but if you've never fished a Bob Sealy tournament in a big bass, and he's giving away this, dude, it is. You better look at it. If you're going there to make some money, you're crazy. If you're going there to you better go there to have a good time. Because if not, you will get frustrated. Like you kill somebody.
You guys ever fish fish in North Carolina? If so, which lake?
I don't think I've ever fished in North Carolina.
I've been on Norman.
Never been there.
I'm sure I've been somewhere else too. I've never been to Bugs Island. No, that's in Virginia.
That's in Virginia. I've never. Yeah, I know they were talking a lot about it.
Did y'all see the video of Matty Wong fishing? Cops rolled up, said lake was closed. He made another cast, caught what he thinks is a 10, and cops telling me he's getting a ticket. I hadn't seen that.
I don't even know what he's talking about.
I don't either.
The boy fishes every day.
Where was that
The
at?
best memes were Biden and.
Did I skip again? I did. I just barely touched it. You know how it does that. Where was the boys? We're almost
George Jean's stepson. Okay, cool. That's George Jean's stepson.
Okay. So here we are. George Jean's stepson. Matty Wong.
Okay, there it is.
The boy fishes every day. He's talking about Tater.
Justin Atkins? Did he get it?
From Yellis's retirement. Atkins probably got it.
Wow.
Yeah, he was close.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Fletcher. Is it Fletcher or Jared?
I don't know which one is.
Yeah, one of them was talking that he was pulling for. Okay, that's okay. I guess he was talking about getting the classic. Yeah.
Shyrock would have been. Wow.
What?
High school deal.
Oh.
Took 15 to 16 years.
Just keep past that. Do I still do guide trips? I try very, very hard not to. What I mean by that is like I get a lot of requests for Rayburn and stuff and some different things. And to be honest with you, I'll take out guide trips if I kind of like the last guide trip I think I took out was a co-angler. He wanted to take his wife out. We went out and smoked on some sight fishing. Like they loved it, but I try, man.
Matthew, I hear you, bub. I hear you.
Oh.
I hear you.
The guide trip stuff's hard for me because I'm real. I take that guidance stuff real serious. Like I really want to show them like really good stuff and really have a good time. And then the other part of me is like, man, I fish so much that it's hard to like. I get very few days with the family at times, and it's just hard for me to go out there on a guide trip. I usually want to go practice for a guide trip, and then now it takes me 2 days, 3 days away from. I don't know. I will maybe do guide trips.
Skips drives me nuts.
I don't know what you're doing.
Well, I just touch it and it just like skips way down.
Hold on.
Oh, it's all the Texas stuff.
I know. Hold on. I know what I want to hear. There's that Jackson Hill stuff.
Yeah, he was just saying there's nothing up there but duck hunters and old men.
Oh yeah. Binding poles. Is that Pelosi? Oh, hey, I did. They got another man. I was watching a show the other day.
You said Whitney smells not a turnover.
Oh,
it smells like that all
hey,
year.
so listen to this Biden Pelosi deal. The memes. I saw. I don't know if it's on TikTok or
Hold
YouTube.
on, time out. Matthew Harold, you ready for yours for the Heisman? Dude, congratulations on your win. I'm all for it. You've posted hook 'em on here 100 times. The Oklahoma team you beat today is the worst football team that Oklahoma's put on a field since probably sometime in the mid-90s with John Blake. That's the truth, bro. I'm telling you. I watched them play K-State. It was horrendous. They have no talent. The cupboard is bare. Don't get so excited about beating us for the first time in 4 years. I mean, congratulations. It's all yours. We suck. But, dude, don't buy into too much hype.
Hold on. We know we never get political on here, but I got to talk about this, like the Biden Pelosi memes. Somewhere on a TikTok or YouTube or something, I saw a video and they put, this is so clever, dude, whoever did this. They put Trump's face with, I remember. It was Trump and Trump Jr. Now get this, on Sanford and Son.
Yeah.
So Trump was on him in the Sun, and it was Trump and Son, or Trump and and they were, and like, of course, it had Sanford. They did the show, so it was Sanford. Yeah, but it was whatever Sanford had said in the video, and it had Trump's. Dude, it was so good because if you really think about that, like those shows, like Sanford and Son, Good Times, those shows can't ever be made again.
No,
because they were like,
I agree.
Like the wokeism right now, right? And because like I listen to a lot of comics, like
Todd for Western Toyota AOY. I agree.
Yeah, but like, dude, like they'll never be like Sanford and Son was so good, but like they can't say what those guys say anymore, and it was just good to see. It was hilarious.
All right, so Longhorn Matthew, he's got a good one here. This is a good question, Matthew.
Okay.
Do you two have any lakes that you consider to be your kryptonite? That's a great question. What lake is like your nemesis?
I'm not going to put Red River because everyone knows I hate Red River. Hold on. Yes, I've got one. Let me think about it though. Oh, hold on. Okay. Caught him at Grand. I caught him. I'm going to take some. Hold on, let me think about it. You know where I've never done good?
Where?
Falcon. I know that's a weird one. I can't say it's my kryptonite because I'm trying to think of tournaments. Like the only tournament.
Well, I'll be honest. I fished 2 tournaments at Falcon myself, and I have not done well the other time. Matter of fact, the Elite Series event that I fished there was horrible. I weighed in 20 pounds each day, but I didn't even get paid.
Yeah. Well, so I've only fished. Oh no. Me and Russell caught him in a TXTT championship somewhat decent down there. I think we're in top
Now,
5 after day
Falcon would
1.
not be my kryptonite. If I had a kryptonite, it's going to be something up north. It's going to be something smallmouth and something smallmouth. Where there's none on the bank.
I'll tell you.
Scattered amongst.
I'll tell you.
But I mean, even that with today with technology, it's not as big a deal. What's my kryptonite?
So I'll tell you.
I'll tell you my kryptonite: muddy cold water. That's my kryptonite. Like below 50 in mud.
Oh, I
can't catch him.
I got a kryptonite. Oh well, god dang it! I was gonna say that lake, but I can't. A little bit of Kentucky Lake.
Yeah.
Now
I've got a little bit and everything.
Now hear me out on Kentucky Lake. I made a top 10 in the Toyota Championship. Okay.
Yeah, that's the first time
I've been in the top 10 in 2 other Toyotas going into day 2. I've never made the cut except in the championship. I made the cut, but one time I had I was in like 5th. I remember Lambert won that one event that I was fishing, and I was the only one. I was in the top 10, and everyone was out there deep, and I caught them all on a frog.
So is Kentucky your kryptonite or not?
I don't know. Like I haven't caught them for 2 days there. And the second time, if this guy's out there looking, the guy that hole jumped me on this one spot, I found some out deep.
But is Kentucky your kryptonite?
Well, like I don't know. There's not a lake I've never.
Do we have a kryptonite?
I've caught them on every lake at least once.
Oh no, I definitely have lakes I haven't caught them on, but not lakes that I don't believe I can catch them on.
If you ask me the one lake that scares me more than any other lake, how about that lake? Can I tell you that lake?
Yeah.
Toledo Bend. Hands down.
Why? You've like won there and everything.
100% I have at certain times.
I understand. I get
the times that if we go there at certain times, I feel I feel if we went there, there are so many times of the year that if we went there, I'd be like,
you know, another lake.
What would I do? I don't know what to do.
You know, another lake that's like that. And I don't know if I can catch them with Santee Cooper. Like if it ain't, yeah. Then I don't.
I mean, my first Toyota I ever won was on Toledo Bend. I had at one point in time I had more top 10s in Toyotas than I did on Rayburn, but we went there.
I've never been to that one that Bass keeps going to down there just south of here, downriver from Toledo.
Oh, Sabine.
But I don't think unless I was red fishing, I don't think. That might be a kryptonite.
Yeah.
All right.
Even though it's a totally shallow.
That was a good question.
It's a whole shallow deal, and we're shallow fishermen.
I know it, but still,
I know. Toledo scares me. I don't look forward to at certain times of the year. Yes, like April for the Open. Can't wait. Like mark it on the calendar. July. Well, it's not that I don't think I can catch them. I have 0 chance of winning. How about that? 0. What?
I don't know.
Now I want to know what he said. Right? Because he deleted it. Rick, what did Matthews?
I'm sure it was something else about OU Texas.
Hold on. Todd 20 years ago was different. I'm learning that.
If it's your first tournament in the Plains Division, if it's in the month of March, which it probably is, get ready. It can be really, really, really tough.
Is he talking? Well, is he talking about
Grand? He's talking about Grand. How will it be? It's
in
just
March.
Yeah, it's always tough.
Don't think I ain't freaking fished a tournament in March over there.
It's tough, isn't it?
I got a check over there, and I caught 5 fish in 2 days. Now they were freaking all big ones.
And that's the deal. The weight makes it look like it's legit, but it's not.
No, I had 5 fish for 20-something.
That's what I mean. The weights make it look like it's legit.
I got a good check.
That's the deal. Like if you can get a bite, dude, the chances are it'll weigh something, but it's hard to get bit.
Okay, I'll tell you this. You told me this, and it makes no sense. Grand is the only lake that sucks pre-spawn. Grand Lake pre-spawn sucks. Every lake I've ever been to, Rayburn, is kind of good at 50 to 55. All of a sudden, it hits over 55. Rayburn explodes into this massive deal.
Grand's really good in February.
Grand is like horrible.
Grand's really good in February.
Great.
February good. Goes bad in March. Right before the spawn.
55 degrees hits on Grand, and it is horrible. Right?
Well, yeah, I know, but when it jumps at about 55, 56, When it hits that deal, they buzz loose everywhere.
But to me, is when it hits 55 and 6, it sucks. And then right before, then it has to like hit that next level. And if the water's low, it really sucks. If the water was up, it's not as bad.
Favorite top water and bottom bait for a fall tournament?
Top water?
Your favorite top water?
I'll
do favorite bottom bait. You do favorite
lately, plopper. Like the last couple of years, plopper.
Favorite bottom bait is a jig. LBJ, little brown jig in the fall. Good. All right. Are you excited about the Alabama UT game next weekend? Yes, I am.
I'm not. Just in case you're worrying.
Go Vols.
Oh, frog too.
Would you guys support a top water only bass fishing tournament?
Huh?
Top water only? Don't they have that at Gunnersville?
We have one.
Spro?
So Rayburn has the rattle trap only tournament too.
There's a
Yeah, they have the Spro frog tournament. I love the like. Here's the only problem about here's the bad thing about that is that I wanted to get in one, and my deal was Strike King at the time. It kind of puts a little hamper on me to like go fish another company's. I don't know. I think they're awesome. I think those are great ideas. I've tried to push Strike King to do one, to like do an all Strike King tournament.
They have frog only tournaments all up on down the TV.
Yeah, I think it's a great.
Grass on Rayburn Todd can make the hybrid hunter ridiculous come Toyota time in January.
Nope, it won't.
Definitely lots of grass on Rayburn.
Not anymore. Not with live scope and not with what's going on. Grass won't play at all in January on Rayburn.
How do you bounce back after a few bad tournaments? I think we may end up having the same answer for once.
Fish more tournaments.
That's what I say. I figure when I've had a couple of bad, I'm due. So like I know the next couple are probably going to be good because I mean, just the odds of like eventually it's going to. I did go on a stretch earlier in my career where it's like, God, is this going to end? But you just got to keep fishing. You come out of
I think so. This year, early in the year, and maybe it was my bad attitude towards Rayburn, but we had these tournaments on Rayburn in January and the Toyotas and stuff. I think so. Me and Brent got in that like local tournament on Choke Canyon and we won it, right? We won a big tournament, we won it. And then we come back down to Rayburn and I got a check in the Toyota, barely. One fish saved me. But other than that, I went like 8 tournaments in a row without getting a check. And then all of a sudden, like I went and got a check somewhere. And then the springtime hit and me and Kelly went and got a check and it was top 10 here, top 10 there, and I think I went like 9 checks in a row.
See me that picture again, Kevin, of you backing your truck down the middle of Falcon if you still got it. I hadn't seen it. I want to see it because I know the lake's low. Best rough water story.
Oh, I got one. That was quick.
Okay.
You ready? All right. So I'm on Livingston, Angler's Quest. And it was a trailer tournament, and it was freaking bad rough. And I was supposed to fish with my buddy Eddie. He couldn't fish, so I fished it by myself. And there's this place that we used to call the pond. We just had nicknames for all these places, right? And there was this place that you get in, and it kind of opened up to a pond. All of Livingston's like that. There's a boat ramp like a couple hundred yards away. It's like a quarter mile away at tops. Man, maybe it was more than that. But it felt like it was like right there. Anyways, I run over there in this. It's flooding, like it is a downpour, like blowing 30 miles an hour. All this stuff. I remember it lightning. My dad came and watched me from the bank. And he drove down there and watched me because there was a place you could. I couldn't load right there. I could only load at this little marina, this little bit other place. So I go in there and I catch 4 big ones on a spinnerbait, and it's just nasty. I catch them, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, man!" But then it rained so much, it came up like 6 inches, and it's just pouring mud in this place. I eventually had to leave. So I was in my stealth. Not in the stealth yet. So I come out of this place. I only got to go like
mighty stealth.
Yeah, I only got to go like, dude. These are like I got so many stories like this, but I only got to go like right there, like okay. And I've driven on rough water all my life. Like, it's no big deal, but it is bad. That's why they trailered it. And I get out there and I'm like, I barely get on pad because I'm getting up in 2 foot of water, and it's crashing down. And I'm going. And dude, I hit one. And when I did, the water hit so hard, it throws you back.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh. And I see my trolling motor fly off a little bit. And I'm like,
Fly off a little bit.
well, like,
You just lift off the boat just a little.
well, motor guides back in the day, they had that plug in, right? And so they had the plug in on the front. And I saw that thing come off. I'm like, man, I hit that thing so hard it unplugged it, So I get down, and like, kind of wakes me up, and I make it. But now I'm in my dad's Jeep Cherokee, and I got to back down by myself and load this boat. And there's white. It's protected enough, but it's still white capping on the boat ramp.
Right.
So like, I'm pouring down rain, and I get off, and I tie up next to this like kind of bulkhead. And it's kind of calm in there, but it's blowing away. So I run up there, I back down the Jeep, and I'm like, all right, I can't pull too far down in there. You can't pull all the way down, right? When it's blowing.
Yeah, you want to leave a little
You
bit
wanna leave
shallow.
up shallower.
Just a little shallow.
Yeah,
That way
yeah.
a wave can just like wash
Yeah,
you
but
on
you
out.
got it. It helps when there's 2 people.
Yeah.
So I'm probably like 20 years old. And I freaking do all that. And I get out. Now, for whatever reason, it was pouring down, like pouring. And I remember I had my whole rain suit on, and I just life jacket on.
Why didn't you just wait for the storm to blow over at this point?
Dude, it was not. No, it was happening for hours. Like, there was lightning, everything. So like, I remember like untying, and I'm doing all this quickly because it's pouring, and I run and get in the thing, and I look down, and my life jacket's on, right? Because I just pulled the kill switch, untied it, whatever. And I look up, I get done, and I look up, and my boat, freaking with the weight, unwrapped, whatever, and it's floating away. It's gone, but it's in the marina. And I'm like, dang. And I'm like, now it's going to float. It was Holiday Shores Marina. So it's floating to the other side of the marina, which means I got to go run in the rain all the way around this thing. Right. And I'm soaking wet. I'm drenched. I got this life jacket on. I'm just, 100 pounds heavier. Right. Yeah. I'm like, God dang it. And I was in shape, whatever. And I took my life jacket off, and I run all the way over there. Right. And I run it all the way over there. And then I got to wait just for a second for it to finally come to me, and I finally it comes to me, and I get in, and I look back, and I'm like, God dang, there's my kill switch and my life jacket all the way over there. So now I'm in the boat, but I can't, and I'm like, I'll just troll motor. Well, I looked down at my troll motor. It didn't unplug it. It unplugged the wire and the cable and the screws from the plug.
Yeah, so the whole dash came out.
So nothing's plugged in. And I'm like, well, now what? So then I freaking tied it up, ran all the way back over there, got my life jacket, ran all the way back over there in the pouring down rain. My boat's still in the trailer. So I get all that done. I drive back over there, my boat loaded up, and I'm like, all right, I'm going back to the Cape. Cape's where I live, and I'm going to load in there and just fish the rest of the time in the Cape. It's pouring down rain. I've caught him there. I need one fish. So I go in there, and I'm about to put it in, and I'm like, oh, man, I got to fix my trolling motor. But I've fixed trolling motors my whole life because I've always, So I get the thing, and I had to put the wires back in and screw them all. I got to do all this stuff, and I put them all up in the pouring down rain, right? And I'm doing all this in the parking lot. And I hook up my whole trolling motor back in. I put it in, back it all down in there, and I go right over to the rocks. I put the trolling motor down. I step on it. What's going on?
Working in reverse.
100% it was.
He wired it backwards.
So in the
I've done
rain and
this
everything, if you plug the red and the black,
Yep.
and there's a forward and a reverse on that thing, and I couldn't see any, like I was just putting it in there. So my trolling motor, instead of going this way, was going. So it was pulling. It was pulling, and I'm like, so in my head, I'm like, I'll just run. I'm gonna stand here all day long. I'm just gonna go in reverse.
Well, the prop's not designed to go that way.
It's not designed, so it really doesn't work like you think it is. So I tried that for like 20 minutes. I'm like, all right, I freaking go all the way back over there, unhook the whole thing. Like half my day is gone because I've just done all this. Get back, never catch another fish. Go up to the freaking weigh in, and I think
How many boats sank that day?
none sank because I'm probably the only one that got out in it. But our buddy who fishes the tour, they won it. Ran with trying to think who he ran with. He's fished the tour. The shorter guy from down there,
From where?
God dang it, Jason Reyes. Reyes and then won it. Him and his partner had like 17 pounds. I had 4 for 16 something. And I was like, God dang, you only want to win those things. And I was like, that, man, if I'd had someone else during that little flurry, someone would have caught another one with me. But I'm like, I have a whole bunch more good stories, but like that was just the first one that came to mind.
Muddy cold water. What 3 baits are on the deck?
That's a Hallman question. I don't fish cold, muddy water.
Whiskey, cocaine, and strippers, probably. All right. Hate cold, muddy water. Yeah, we all do. Tellico Lake. Tellico could be all of our kryptonites.
What is Tellico?
It's now it's Tennessee. It's up above Fort Loudon. It's crystal clear. It's actually Tellico is also where they trout fish in that area, not in Tellico Lake, but the area of Tellico is trout fishing in the mountains and Smokies. Would you consider fishing the tour again, Todd, if you qualified?
What tour? There is no more tour. Dude, do you see how many of those guys? I don't know what they're going to do with those invitationals next year. They will not be full. Dude, I know all those guys are fishing the opens next year.
I do. I read the comment and I was like, that's got to be academic mailbox. I read the comment and I was like, that's got to be academic mailbox. I went back, sure enough. I love that dude.
That dude's too smart for me because sometimes, man, his knowledge is crazy.
I know.
In Berkeley.
Now that Suggs with Strike King and Berkeley discontinued his wake baits for Strike King. Please make them.
What wake bait? Because I mean, the wake bait that we had forever was the wake shad, and I still got enough. Like, if anyone knows, I got enough wake shads to last me 4 lifetimes. The only person that's really ever asked me is I've given some to Watson. I doubt that's the one he's talking about, but because I know 6 Cents kind of like redid the wake shad. And
do you think
it looks just like it? But I don't know. I don't know if that's the same wake bait.
Do you think Bass should create a seniors tour? My answer is hell no.
No, if you're not good enough, you just don't fish.
Correct.
What are you doing for the sport anyways? If you're just like,
there's a lot of them right now just making a living off of staying somewhere. I ain't saying Elite Series guys, but just all over the industry.
Oh, read that fishing with the bobber. So Rayburn Rattle Trap Tournament is changing to Battle of the Brands because GSM Outdoor. That's freaking Crispin. Crispin's VP of GSM Outdoors now, Crispin Pally. So like, yeah, they have Rattle Trap. They have not Berkeley. They have Yamamoto. They have a bunch of different stuff now. So they can't probably have Rattle Trap tournaments anymore. It'll probably be like, I like that though. Battle of the Brands. That'd be cool. They're like, hey, you have to fish with a rattle, but it won't be striking. It'll be interesting to see what they do.
Went fishing, caught a 12-pounder, tried to mount it, and then got arrested for indecent exposure.
What are they talking about?
I don't know. It's Raj Bass.
Yeah. Dude, I'm telling you, like Toledo Bend is really, but I mean, it is not like Andrew likes it and stuff, but I mean, he grew up on it, right? So even Andrew will even admit he knows that it's such a big, vast lake, man, that it's tough.
I guess I'm just gonna skip to the bottom.
Oh, I can't. I want to answer Troy's.
Okay. What fishing techniques do you suck at?
No, I don't care about suck at. Hate.
Okay.
Hate. Y'all are not gonna believe what I'm about to tell y'all. Flipping grass. And it's probably the number one thing everyone asks me about is flipping grass. They're like, hey, man, like Rayburn, man, so you like to flip grass? I'm like, never. I almost never flip grass. And everyone's like, why don't you like it? You got to realize that it's fun to flip grass if you're just fun fishing. In tournaments, though, it's like the one technique that I've seen it crush more people over the last 20 years than I've ever seen crush anyone. And so there's certain techniques that I love throwing a buzz bait, but won't throw one, all because of about 5 tournaments in a row 12 years ago. I won't throw a buzz bait. I haven't caught a fish on a buzz bait in a tournament in probably 10 years. And it was all because of like, I'll tell the story one day.
I want to play this game right here, but
Okay.
I got to play it different than the questions asked. It's Todd. You got Hallman, Upshaw, and Scott Martin. I guess like a team deal. Who catches the 10-pounder? Who thinks every fish is a 10-pounder? And who loses the 10-pounder? Okay, we kind of played this game. We did it on Scott's show, and it was actually that way. Castledine and I were both together, and Todd and Andrew on a place that had 10-pounders.
But time, Andrew.
But
Andrew,
I want to
Andrew and Scott.
Andrew and Scott. But I want to play this game different. Let's just play it as we're all 4 separate, and I can answer this perfectly. So first of all, who catches the 10-pounder? Without a doubt, it's Castledine. Who thinks every fish is a 10-pounder? Without a doubt, it's Scott.
Martin.
Without a doubt. And who loses the 10-pounder? Without a doubt, it's Andrew.
Without a
doubt. And I probably don't get a bite the whole
Yeah.
time. So that's probably how it goes down. That's a great
100%.
That is exactly how it's going to go too.
And so in that tournament, in that deal, I did catch big bass of the deal. Scott said he had one on that was bigger. And then Andrew said one, I don't know.
I have fished Santee Cooper. Actually the biggest bag that I've ever caught in my life, which is probably Todd's definitely probably beaten it probably multiple times. I had a 32-pound bag in an Elite Series event in 2006 on Santee Cooper.
Was it a big bag the other day?
No. Preston Clark had 40. I was actually in like 4th or 5th. And I had an 8-pounder that I could have culled up a couple more pounds, but I was like, I'm not kicking out a freaking 5 for an 8 at this point. It was
so I'm gonna say this one time. So I've caught a lot of 30-pound bags on Rayburn or in Toledo. Mainly on Rayburn, some on Conroe, one on Texoma, whatever. But someone asked me, so some guys caught like a 40-pound bag one time on Rayburn, and someone asked me, was like, have you ever caught a 40-pound bag? This is such a bad. If I hadn't had, I've had a beer or two, so I probably, and I was like, you know, my answer to that was,
what?
No, I never tried. And they looked at me and they were like, well, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, I've never tried for a 40-pound bag. And that's such a bold comment, but my comment was always, I was like, well, what does that mean? I'm like, well, man, and this was just my comment. I'm like, most of the times when we had 35, it was our first 5 fish. Like we didn't cull to get to 35, or maybe we culled once and we stopped because we knew we won the tournament. And I'm like, I think we could have caught 40 pretty easy, because we stopped at 35, and sometimes we stopped at 35 after 5 casts. So, yeah, I think we could have, you know. So like it was funny because I was like, yeah, I've just never tried to. We wanted to save the spot for next week, you know, or we didn't want to get caught on the spot, you know, someone see us. So, but 32, man, it would suck to weigh in 32 in a tournament and be not leading.
All right, here's a question. It's a good one. Have you used bait fuel yet? And if so, opinion.
Easy answer is no, not even thought twice about it. I will say that Strike King, I think I'm allowed to talk about this. I don't know.
Well, you better not.
Well, I'm just saying we are developing some stuff, and I am obviously the guy that is testing a lot of it.
Okay.
So I have used that stuff.
I haven't used it.
I haven't. I cannot tell you. Here's what I'll say about stuff like that. When we got into conversation about bait fuel and what I think about stuff like that, I answer it like the Hydro Wave. and they asked me, what do you think about the hydro wave? Does it work? And I said, well, you got an hour? Because I can tell you stories for hours about why I saw certain things with the hydro wave that I've never seen before. And when I don't have one on or working, like I can just tell you that I can't tell you that it works because there's no way to tell if it works. And I think bait feels the same way. You might be able to tell me stories that go, hey, I can't explain this, but this is what happened. I've got stories with hydro wave for days that I will be like, hey, look, I'm just telling you that when I got a hydro wave, this is the first I ever got it. This is what happened. And then they'll ask, do you have a hydro wave on your boat right now? I'm like, yes. And sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. And I can't tell you really why I do and why I don't. But, well, it depends if I'm fishing shallow or deep.
So you answered like 3 questions there, and you didn't even know you did, but the hydro wave was on there. Thoughts on 6 Sense fishing lures? This is from Longhorn Matthew Harrell. Yeah, dude. I mean, they got some good baits. Todd and I both are friends with Casey, and our buddy Russell, a good friend of ours, Russell, does a lot of peddling for them. So, yeah, we have no issues with those baits whatsoever. The pros catch fish on unsponsored gear and then claim they caught them on sponsored gear for the post-tourney pictures and interviews. That absolutely has happened before, no doubt. And
it's getting harder to do that now.
Yeah, because of live and everything else. But I know there's still guys doing it. But yeah,
yes,
it's still happening.
And the problem,
but I can tell you that most pros have got so. And Todd's probably like me somewhat. Strike King has just got everything in the market, so it's pretty easy for him. A lot of those guys to stay under the umbrella.
The things that I didn't like was so I used frogs. Like I was a giant frog fisherman, still am to this day, and we didn't have one, so I developed the popping perch so I could throw that. I used the hybrid hunter for 10 years, called something else, developed that. So I have put my little mark on Strike King of things that I used to where I didn't want to have to use someone else's bait, and we developed our own. I can tell you for a fact, everyone back in the day used to do that. It's a lot harder on live now to do that. So when you watch live, I think that really shows what baits are. Like when you see good baits, you'll see the guys on live catching them on it.
Weights in fish, thoughts. So this was actually what Todd's video is a little bit about that he's got coming up. And same comment, we didn't discuss it, and I'd already answered it on a social media post, and we had the same feeling on it. And it was funny how we both had the same feeling.
Yeah, we never talked about this. Me and you never. Mm-hmm. And we talk about the fact that I didn't get a single phone call from a single fisherman buddy of mine about the walleye deal.
No, it came from all people that aren't even.
None of us.
We both got a ton of calls on it, but it was by people in our family or friends that know nothing about fishing.
Me and you.
They were like, "Oh, have you seen this?" But yeah, dude. I mean, like, I wasn't surprised at all. I think that that kind of stuff's been going on since tournaments have been going on, and it'll continue to go on in the future. And I'm like you. I think it's a small percentage, 1%, 2%, but it's definitely goes on.
We've had the like if we went over the list of guys that we've caught cheating in our local team events.
Milliken is my kryptonite. That dude makes my eyes twitch.
There's a lot that goes on there. What I'll say about this is the one thing I'll say. And I could probably make 10 different videos on that deal. And I made the first one because obviously I got to thinking about something and it bothered me. I didn't make a video on this, but I should. What upsets me, I don't get upset about the guys cheating in the sense of I've seen that go down 100 times. Like
right.
You're gonna see it more. You're gonna see other guys get caught cheating. Like the problem is there's the 2 problems I have is this. Those guys cheated a long time. So like everyone's going to sit there and here's the thing I'll talk about. Those guys, it doesn't matter if that was the first time they cheated or they've cheated in every tournament. 100% of every single person is going to believe they cheated in every single tournament they ever fished, which may or may not be true. Probably wasn't. They caught those fish. I think they had enough fish to like win the tournament or like do good. Like like most cheaters, I think it graduates to more and more. And then
and I don't think any of it has to do with money either.
I
think it's all about ego.
I have told everyone
It's
that
about
it's
ego.
never about money. It's about ego.
It's about I'm the biggest and baddest.
Yes,
That's what it's about.
100%.
Or it's guys, it's guys that have kind of started to build a name and they feel this pressure that they've got to maintain that name.
I think very little of it is money.
It's
I
ego.
think they get caught because of ego.
Yeah.
Their ego gets them caught. Because those guys went so far above of what they should have done. From what I understand, they were trying to win England of the Year, needed like 25 pounds to do it, or 24. Or 20 or 16. Like they had it won without that deal, not the tournament, but whatever.
Did you hear about a high school kid staking out fish at Eagle Mountain last summer?
Well, no, hold on. I'll get. So my point to all that is this: is none of us thought it was that big of a deal in the sense of. We've seen this thing
It didn't
go
surprise
down.
us.
Didn't surprise us, right? We think it's a big deal. It's a bad deal, but
Right.
it's not something that was like shocking to us.
And it was an easy catch. Todd and I talked about that. I mean, they're weighing in. The guy even said the walleye looked like about it. He weighs fish every day, tons of them.
It's a 4 or 5 pounder.
It's like a 4 or 5 pounder. He lays it on the scale. And it's a 798. And he said then they added the others. And he said I was doing the math in my head, thinking mid-20s like everybody else, and then the scale jumps up to 35 pounds. And it's like this ain't right.
So the thing about this is those guys got caught cheating, and I'm telling y'all, no, everyone's like they're going to jail and all this stuff. Guys, they got caught cheating for one event. Now we might all know that they cheated for all these other events. They can't prove that. They will be caught for one event. And they'll get fraud or whatever it is. They'll plea them out. Because guaranteed they probably don't have any prior records. There's a good chance they don't have any prior records. So they're going to get very minimal sentencing on any of this. And they'll probably 0 jail time. I'm just telling you how it is. Probably 0 jail time. They will never get to fish again. Their license probably will be revoked, maybe for the rest of their lives. All that stuff.
Okay, listen to this.
Well, hold on.
No, this fits it. So I'm not changing the subject.
Yeah.
He said those guys will probably have to move. They can't even go to the grocery store there. Did you have the same thought I did, though, when you watched it? And I know those guys are from, like, Cleveland, Ohio. Like, those guys, some of those guys up there probably got their wives in basements. But, like, if that would have happened at my house, like in Oklahoma, or if it had been down here in Texas, those guys they wouldn't have got out of the parking lot without being killed, would they have?
Well,
I don't know about killed, but they would have been stomped.
Well, no. So that's why I would have looked at it like
I'm telling you, man, punches would have been thrown in Grove, America.
Maybe. So everyone says that that's what should have been happening. And I mean,
I don't think that's what should have happened. I'm just thinking at home, and I know some of the guys, and I'm thinking they've been taking money from them for over a year and a half and acting like that. I think
and that tournament director said,
Paul Smith.
That tournament director said he said on the speaker, he's like, guys,
Chad Diffie,
do not touch.
Chad Diffie would be killing them.
He told him like, do not touch those guys, right?
He did.
Which was the right thing to do because that's just going to make it worse. Like it's coming. Robbie Rose, when he did that, and I didn't fish much against Robbie Rose, so he didn't take any of my money really. But he did that for so many years, and people accused him of that. Dude, he had to leave the state, whatever. But he left the state. No one else in any other state knows who that guy is. Guaranteed, right? He did the same thing. The difference is there was no social media back then. And so, like, he could move states and no one would guarantee he could be your neighbor and you would never know it. These guys are going to have a lot rougher time than that, but it will be very difficult. I think about the guy, the Cubs, the Chicago Cub. I mean, it changed his life. Remember when he caught that ball, which was total BS, right? Because everyone's reaching for the ball. He's the only one that caught it, and then everyone pointed to him But I mean, he had a rough life. Like he had a rough deal after that. These guys are going to have a rough deal. But here's my point. Those guys will never get to. It makes me mad that guys like that in a local event get caught. They'll get more punishment than any, say, local, big time. Let's call them professional. Professionals aren't going to stuff fish weights, but I'm not saying is like they get slapped on the wrist for things, and there's things in our team tournament stuff you don't get slapped on the wrist. It's like gone, you're done.
Right.
And it's just weird how like there's a higher standard. There's a higher standard in local tournaments compared to professional tournaments. And I've said it for years that the standard is not the same. And we treat that way differently.
So Kevin agrees with me. Should have been hit. And he says no, but they wouldn't have made it to the truck in the South. And I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. But, a lot of people talk on the internet. I don't know.
I don't know, man. As soon as I saw it, I started thinking of guys, and I was like, Chad Diffie would have taken him out.
I will say
It would have been no questions asked. Chad would have started throwing punches.
Me and you probably would have been like,
I'd have been pulling Chad off of him.
I guarantee you.
No, I probably would have been like, get him, Chad.
I guarantee you, me and Russell, I'll bring Russell in the mix. I guarantee you, if me and Russell had been in the background, we go, I guarantee you what me and Russell would have been like, going like this, going, told y'all, and we'd have turned our back, got in the truck, gone to have a beer, going, you dummies, we've been telling y'all, no one was, we'd have been like, no one wants to listen to us.
Yeah.
And we'd have just drove off going,
Yeah.
we'd have just been like, told y'all this was going on. We would have pegged them already. Because me and Russell have pegged a couple, and all we have pegged about six people. And I'm tell you this right now, five of those six were caught, and the sixth ones were the easiest ones. And we told them they're gonna ride off into the sunset. You're never gonna hear from them again. You'll never. They were the best. They were the best fishermen on Rayburn and Toledo for 3 years running. It wasn't even close. And they rode off in the sunset, and we've never heard of them again. And they stole freaking $300,000 from people.
Yeah.
And they freaking rode off. Never heard of again. What else you got?
Oh, I hate to repeat the question, but
What?
Who won that tournament? No one. The guy's name's most talked about tournament is used. Nobody knows who. No one. Who? What?
Hold on. What? Hate to repeat the question, but who won that tournament? No one knows those guys' names most talked about tournament.
Oh, who won that tournament? I'm still with you. Yeah. No.
What happened to the pontoon team? Sunset.
That was a pontoon team.
Rode off into the sunset.
Took 300,000 and walked.
Dude, they best team tournament fishermen in the entire country showed up on Rayburn and Toledo. Took everybody's money
for 3 years.
I mean, Bobby Lee. Everybody dies. You probably don't have no idea what I'm talking about. This Bobby Lee tells this funny story. Anyways, he's like, it took everyone's money on Rayburn. Oh, we go to Rayburn, smoke y'all. Go back to Toledo, smoke y'all. We go back to Rayburn, smoke everyone. For 3 years, we're just going to get in some events. Ooh, this one, we're going to zero in this one. Hold on, we got a zero in this one. Not catch fish. Oh, we're going to win the next one. Blow this one out in our pontoon boat. Yeah, we just driving around a little pontoon boat.
Did they fish it in the pontoon boat?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But winning every 250, 300 boat field like it was nothing.
In a pontoon boat.
Like it was nothing. Then all of a sudden, they had to fish one little tournament where they put the little camera on them. They caught like 10 pounds. Never fished another tournament after that. Rode off in the sunset with everyone's money. See y'all. They were the smartest fishermen ever. I say that because they were the first fishermen ever to go.
We're about to get
that
caught.
Heat's coming. We better get going. Never. We told, man, I don't even want to bring up the tournament directors because, no offense, y'all made me really mad. We called them up and we're like, dude,
they are not catching those bass.
Have y'all ever heard us call y'all up? Nope. We never said anything, but I'm like, I'm just telling you, here's what's going down. Well, man, and we're like, well, no, we don't know. Larry Nixon, freaking Tommy Martin. I can go on and on about the best fishermen, like legends of the sport. They never come close to doing anything like these guys are doing. These guys, in girl, wife,
husband and wife.
Yeah, at times. Never heard of them ever in their lives of fishing, blowing out every tournament. And I said, it's going to piss me off because y'all are letting it happen. You're letting it happen, and they're going to walk away, and nothing's ever going to gone. Never fished another tournament again. Never heard of them again. Never heard of it again.
Wow, that's a great story. I
called it. I said, this is going to happen. And it happened.
The local pond ran out of fish, is what the Ford said. He's probably right. Their local pond just ran out of fish.
No, that heat, and they were smart enough to get away. It was not ego. It was not ego. Listen, that was not an ego.
That was about money.
That was. Do you know what happened? So I'm gonna tell you the story about it. So Russell asked me one time. So they're like, I got a lot of phone calls from a lot of people, and I won't mention any of their names because I respect them all, and they were all like in the sense of like it's not right for me to tell them because I like them all. They all had information. And they all shared it with me, and I tried to like go along with and connect the dots. I said, Russell, you know how Russell? So me and Russell be right here, and I'm like, Russell. He said, okay, but you know they won a boat, right? Tell me how they won that boat. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, they won a saltwater boat. They won a Haney. And I was like, I don't know. He's like, well, how'd they win that thing if they cheated? I was like, good question. Let me find out. So a couple weeks go by, I start digging around, getting the information. And I didn't know.
Go fish a redfish tournament?
It was a star tournament. You know what a star tournament is? Nope. Okay. I didn't either. I don't fish redfish tournaments. We're going to be doing this. In 10 years from now, we're going to be fishing these things.
Okay.
Star tournament is just like a crappie-thon. Crappie-thons on Livingston when I grew up started in March and it ended like April 15th. And for $40 or $50, you get in it, and there's tagged crappie. They catch a whole bunch of crappie, you tag them, they release them in the lake. And that tagged crappie, just like they're doing on Rayburn now, the bass, cash, whatever. But you catch one of those, and it might be $25, $50, you know, or there was one like the Indian Creek, whatever, and it was $1,000, or this one was $1,000. This one was for a boat, right? And so, we used to catch them because like crappie and everything else, you all catch them on the same spot, and then they had to go tag them. And wherever they release them, they all swim back to that spot, and you might catch them again, right? So I got in it every year and would win at least one or two $25, $50, $100 crappie. You know, it was worth it. It was fun. Like, oh, I caught one. So, anyways, but the deal was that March 1st, I got into that event.
So what does this have to do with the star tournament?
March 1st, when the season started,
you got it.
I got in it.
Right.
Okay. Think about the easiest way to cheat, right? So you're supposed to get in this thing. Well, I'm sure some freaking local rednecks around there don't know anything and wonder why they caught this crab or tagged crappie and go, what's this thing about? Oh, let me go enter this thing real quick. So they go enter it. A couple hours later, hey, look at here. I caught this tagged crappie. Which you're not supposed to do, obviously, right? You're supposed to. Once again, easy cheating. So I was like, oh, I'll bet $1 million. So this is what I told Russell. I said, I bet you $1 million that if they can figure out when they signed up for that event, they caught that fish the next day. I'll bet $1 million.
So you're saying they caught a tagged redfish?
So some buddies that called up the thing, and they found out that they entered this tournament at this certain date.
And the
next day they weighed in this fish that won them a brand new Haney. And I was like, Russell, he goes, okay, you got me. That's obviously what happened. And so what happened was, here's what happened. They're sitting there doing this, right? And they're like, hey, look what we just won off this stupid fishing deal. And these fishermen are stupid. These tournament directors aren't the brightest. And these guys are letting, like, look at how we can make a whole bunch of money. And they just took a whole bunch of fishermen for suckers. And they did.
The pontoon bandits.
Pontoon bandits.
That's a good name for them.
But I mean, it was like I get
right.
That was money.
Let's wrap this thing up on the pontoon bandits.
All right.
I'm ready to go to bed.
That guy, I'll call them out. Yeah. You're right. Did I do anything to my ploppers? No, I just take them out. No, I didn't get to test out the Rattling Rage Craw, the pontoon bandits. Got the inside scoop on. Not answering that question. Sorry, Zach. That is my mouse is closed on that.
Harry Estep wants to know where we're going
Oh,
to see.
what? Real quick, let's do that one real quick. Any other species? Would redfish be there? Would it be or trout?
Probably redfish more than trout.
Yeah,
Redfish are pretty close.
yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. Redfish are a lot like chasing.
The question was if any other species would you fish that would help you key in on catching bass?
Redfish would be good. Saltwater.
Where y'all at? We're at my camp this evening. Hallman, check your messages. Check your messenger.
All right. Oh yeah, thanks for the picture.
Hank Williams, lights out. I'm working tomorrow. Hey, now is Hank Williams? Is this the Hank Williams at the Boogie Shack?
No, that was actually Hank Williams
Hank
Jr.
Williams Jr. I know.
No, this is Hank Williams from Oklahoma. Actually,
Okay.
Jerome was my coangler once at Grand. He's a great dude. One of my favorite coanglers of all
Backwater
time.
snooks.
Backwater snooks are very close too. Yeah, he's right about that. Which lakes are overrated versus underrated?
Okay, Matthew, I will only answer this because it got no more comments because that is a great question.
All right, overrated.
This is the
lakes.
last question. We got to go.
Your 3 overrated lakes. Just-
Oh, 3.
You don't have to
Hold
give a
on.
description why. Just why they were
Overrated.
overrated.
Okay. I'm gonna put Toledo Bends on there. I want to say Rayburn, but I'm not gonna say Rayburn.
Yeah, it did take 10-3 to win this week.
That's a bunch of people.
I don't care. It's still a weekend of big bass fishing. They could go fish for a year at Grand. I'm just saying.
I get we got 10 pounders in there, but I don't judge lakes because they have big fish.
I understand.
See, a lot of the same lakes that I'm gonna say are overrated or underrated.
Yeah.
I think Grand is overrated.
Okay. Grand is the best rock hole in the
The
nation
best
without
rock hole,
grass.
correct.
Best lake in the country without grass.
It is, however,
the only time it's bad is in March.
it's bad in the fall.
Yeah, but everything's bad in the fall.
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to say Grand, but
How about Lake Fork? That thing's overrated.
so here's the deal.
Everybody on the Elite Series agrees. Like the weights are there, but dude, there's a few places that all those groups of big fish get. They're like on 10 places.
So
on the whole lake.
I'll
For
say
the most
this.
part, the lake's not that damn good.
So I'll say this. Rayburn at times is not that good. You see these weights and they're all off of like brush
way better
piles
than
or
Fork,
what.
dude. better.
I've been to Fork very few times, and when I have gone, and if you just don't go do whatever, if you just kind of like sometimes like go down the bank and do some stuff, you're never gonna win a tournament. But dude,
You can catch some fish.
dude. So when me and Jason went
But
there,
the locals that fish at like tournament stuff, they
that's
just drop
because
shot.
they do the same thing. Like they
drop shot.
I went to that thing. Me and Jason fished that big bass skeeter
I'm
owner
just saying,
tournament,
Fork is
and we went down the bank. Never passed a single. Well, we passed that one boat that they got all mad in the morning time. But other than that, then we got away from all those people and just went down the bank, caught 6s and 4s, and then we got in this area, and we're like,
what month was it?
it was May.
Okay.
What I'm saying is guys were like, man, I caught 1 or 2. We caught like 30. I hadn't been on the lake in like 5 years, and it was like it's that way. Like, because you weren't going to catch a 10-pounder doing that probably. To catch fish and to catch some big ones and how we caught them. Yeah, like I can go and not catch them like that good.
Well, Fork to me is the most overrated. It's the most talked about. To me, it's the most overrated.
Got him. But like, man, the good days on Fork are so much better than that's why it's hard for me to put Rayburn on there too, because
the good days at Rayburn are better than the good days at Fork.
No, not even close. No.
40-pound bags in Fork.
All day in practice. You will 99% of guys will never catch a 35-pound bag in practice on Rayburn, much less in a tournament. Fork, you can go catch 35-pound bags right for multiple days.
My biggest bag was 32. What is your biggest bag of your life? Could be team
in a
tournament.
tournament.
Could be team tournament.
In a tournament.
No, not practice fishing.
I think I don't know what it is. I know it. I don't know how many 36. So we've been weird. We've caught 35 to 36, like 8 times.
Wow.
And I don't know why it's that number, but we seem to. Well, I can tell you why it's that number. It's
7-pounders.
No. That's why I always say, could we have caught 40? Yes, because we'll usually have a couple 9s or 10, and then like a 6, and we're like, and that'll be 5, and we're like, okay, we could probably call up with another 8 or 9.
Not gonna burn it.
Yeah, why would we burn it? We already won the tournament.
Yeah.
So just roll on.
All right, let's get.
Did we go underrated lakes? Underrated, real quick.
Go ahead, you first. I threw fork out there. What's underrated?
For me, for one of the I think Table Rock is freaking weird. I think Table Rock is good. I love Table Rock.
Table Rock's phenomenal. I don't know that it's underrated though, because there's a lot of people go there and a lot of people think it's great.
Okay. We both are gonna say if we had to pick Texoma.
Oh yeah, we both.
That's
love
an
that
easy
place.
one. Man, it is. See, I think all those Tennessee lakes suck. I think they're good when they're good, and they're bad when they're bad.
They get a lot of pressure.
Like I liked Pickwick.
Yeah.
Pickwick's got grass though, so any of those lakes with grass is going to make it consistently better throughout the year. Right?
I don't think Chickamauga is a real good tournament lake. Now, I don't think it's an overrated lake, but I don't think it's a tournament lake.
So there's the two different deals. Is Texoma?
Well, a lot of places are not good tournament lakes, but are great fishing lakes.
Everyone talks about Louisville, and let me tell you something. If you just went to Louisville on a Wednesday,
fun fishing, it's pretty good.
Yes, pretty good. You just can't put 200 guys out there for 5 days on Louisville.
Dude, there's a lot of places like that.
Most places,
Arkansas River in Oklahoma. You go down to Kerr just the middle of the week. Dude, there's nobody been there in a month.
Dude,
can you imagine?
Smash them and
Great
have a
fishing.
blast
And have a great time
and fish the way I want to fish.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great fishing.
Absolutely. I agree with you.
Yeah. So some places are just not good tournament.
They're just not good tournament lakes.
I will say this about Hartwell. We just went there and I didn't have a good tournament.
It's a great tournament lake.
It is a phenomenal tournament lake. Lewis Smith is a phenomenal tournament lake.
And a fun, like every time I've been to Lewis Smith, I've loved it. Smith Lake.
Any lake that has multiple things going on, and I mean this by the fact that the winning pattern could come from two totally different ends of the lake.
The long arms.
Doing two totally different things.
Bowls suck.
Bowls.
Lakes that are bowls.
Clear Lake, California's bowl.
Like but the longer of a lake, and as long as the whole arm plays.
Yeah. So
Smith Lake has 3 giant arms in. It spreads people out, and it's just like it
makes a good tournament.
And you got deep, shallow going on, boat docks and like different banks and dirt and rock.
I don't think Lake Fork's a good tournament lake.
No,
especially in the summertime.
Well, no, and the fact that it gets so much pressure, and the locals out there and people that like roll up on you, like it's not Rayburn like the other day on Rayburn, I was out there, and if you hit Rayburn at certain days with no one out there, like we'll hit Rayburn tomorrow, there'll be no one out there. No one. After this big blast, we will be the only people out there.
I was out there today, and
at 3 o'clock, it was dead.
It was beautiful out there. And I actually was thinking, you have to start thinking like wildlife. I was thinking those fish have already realized that everybody's gone. Because like it was chaotic when I got there. It was like a zoo. And by 3 o'clock, it was just.
I bet you they don't hear a motor. They don't hear nothing.
They instantly know. I guarantee you they start lifting their head up out of the grass.
100%.
Everybody's gone. Let's go back to eating.
And the other ones will have, like, we'll probably catch some. We'll catch some of them. Maybe the next couple of days they'll have hook marks in them. Yeah. Because it happens all the time.
All right.
Thanks for staying on. We went. We're gonna get out there early in the morning. We got to.
Yeah.
All right. See y'all guys.
Appreciate it.
Watch that video tomorrow. I got all serious on y'all. All right. See y'all.
Should tell them we'll go live.